Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Brendan, and here we teach that what you are thinking, feelingly, and imagining throughout your day is creating your physical experience. Now, today I want to talk to you about a revelation that came to me yesterday. I was having a bit of a difficult day, but I did some, journaling, meditating, working through some emotions that came up, kind of from being triggered by the 3D environments, circumstances, people. So I want to help you because that's something that happens a lot in life, whether you're manifesting or not. The revelation is do not seek to react, seek to understand. And so this is huge because there's power in understanding people, environments, circumstances, all of which are coming to you from what you are thinking, feelingly, imagining throughout your day, right? Not one thing in our life is coming to us independent of our use of imagination. It is literally the one source of all creation. It is the cause of every effect in our entire life. So, whatever you're encountering, okay, if you're having an argument or if something is going wrong in some area of your life or you're in some place that you don't want to be, then take a moment to step back, okay? Take a deep breath and do your best not to react, but instead become the observer and seek to understand. Now, I want to tell you not to be afraid of reactions, okay? Just because this is something that you want to do, you want to seek to understand, doesn't mean you have to be scared if you did react, okay? Maybe you did have a moment where inside yourself it was a little bit of a spiral. That's okay. Just do your best, all right? We don't want to set up a philosophy where we're in fear of anything that's not positive, right? Negative feelings, negative emotions, negative thoughts. It's okay. All things exist within you, okay? They are aspects of yourself. So we don't deny the negative side of ourselves, but we seek to understand it and accept it. And acceptance of a negative experience is a positive experience. So allow yourself that freedom. Allow yourself to not worry if you get a little bit emotional about things. Okay. So when I was triggered, I had to work through these emotions. So I allowed myself to sit down and journal how I truly felt about the situation. I even wrote out how I wanted to behave based on the current circumstances. And then I wrote down the ideal, right? The ideal of how I want to behave ideally, positively, as opposed to maybe the negative version that I had written previously. So you want to give yourself that same freedom, okay? You want to be able to maybe write it down or just meditate on it or just vent with someone, all right? You don't want to start projecting into the future saying things like this always happen to me. Things like this are always and you're creating more negative that way. But just look at things as they are and you have that freedom. But do it seeking to understand. Okay? You want to get that emotion out. You don't want to trap the emotion inside you and create dis-ease, right? The opposite of relaxation. You want to be able to get that out so the energy's not trapped, but then you seek to understand. And if you can't understand it as it is, then create an openness within yourself to ask, the subconscious mind, God, your highest, greatest self, that literally is you, show me clarity. Show me the way to handle this situation. And then let it go and try and do your best to go about your business. And if you're like me, in my experience that I had yesterday, my mind would not let it go, would not let it go, would not let it go until I actually spoke with someone about it. Okay. And I wasn't just complaining, but I was just explaining things in a very logical manner. How, it appeared that I was being done wrong. And that person helped me gain some clarity on what exactly I was missing, right? What I wasn't understanding about the situation, which helped me forgive. Now, remember, forgiveness is to give for, right? So, say that what you're dealing with, the thing that's triggering you, is a person. It could be a coworker, it could be a family member, anything like that. You don't want to seek to react to them or get even with them or do something physical to change the circumstance with that person. Seek to understand them. Okay, there's likely some sort of motivation behind them, making them treat you how they're treating you. Maybe they're jealous of you. Maybe they are having issues in their own life that are, unbeknownst to you. There are all sorts of things that we don't consciously know, that we can actually understand if we observe. When you become the detached observer of all people, environments, circumstances in your life, then you give yourself the opportunity to see it more clearly. Because when you are attached to the situation from your limited human perspective, then the limited human emotions are going to come and cloud your judgment. Now, there's nothing wrong with emotions. Again, do not be afraid of them. Don't trap them inside yourself, okay? Let yourself feel it. Maybe go do some karate or jujitsu or something to get your emotions out. Whatever works for you, all right? In my case, I journaled and did some venting with a close friend who understands this philosophy. So they allowed me to speak my feeling, and then they helped me reach a deeper level of understanding of the situation. So hopefully you have someone like that in your life. If you don't, make an effort to manifest that, right? Allow yourself to say, thank you, I have the perfect support system, the most wonderful people in my life. And we help each other. It's mutually beneficial, something like that. Because you don't want to get trapped, right? And there's actually a quote by Edward Art that I love so much. It's about how we as people often believe that our negative feelings are definitely going to manifest. And then we have like all this wonder and doubt and fear about if our positive feelings are going to manifest. So it's two sides of the same coin, all right? Why would you have so much faith in the negative coming true, and then no faith in the positive? So look at that. Just observe that in your life. If that's you, then recognize that you're putting a limit on yourself, okay? Don't fear the negative. Don't fear it. It is a part of you. That's everything, all right? Just like a magnetized piece of steel, there's a positive side and a negative side, and that's totally all right. But the more you seek to understand yourself, the easier it will be to accept the negative part of you without that fear that anything negative will manifest. So just be aware of that. Now, one of the things that is crucial here is not to be afraid of or try to ignore the 3D itself, because what we resist persists. All right, our reactions to people, environment, circumstances keep us in a loop of our current subconscious programming. Okay, so that's what a reaction is. You are experiencing something that is similar to a traumatic experience of your past. It could be childhood, it could be anything in your life, and your subconscious is saying, oh, yes, we've experienced this before. This is how to react, okay? And it'll give you your same negative reaction that you had before, probably before you became emotionally intelligent and also spiritually aware of your role as the creator and as the detached observer. So when you're reacting, you're really just playing out that same pattern, right? You're firing the same neurons in the brain as you did before, probably causing feelings of fear, even, maybe sadness, anger, whatever it is, these negative emotions as we call them. So by observing that, by choosing to take a step back, detaching emotionally from the situation, just to look at the facts, look at things with more clarity, that's going to allow you to respond instead of react, right? You want to increase your responsibility. You can only change what you take responsibility for. And we talked about that a couple days ago. That's where your power is. Responsibility literally equals power. And responsibility is your ability to respond. So as you increase your capacity to step back, detach, become the observer, no matter what is happening in 3D, then you are more likely to have the greater ability to respond. And therefore, you have greater power to change whatever's going on. So that's where you start. But again, don't be afraid to work through your emotions and maybe do some journaling. Because remember, there's only one cause, okay? Neville Goddard said, chief delusion is belief in a second cause. Okay, there's one cause, and it is your imagination or your mind or whatever you want to call that aspect of yourself. But That your consciousness, it is your consciousness that is creating your experience, all right? So don't believe that anything else has any sort of power in your world. You are creating all of it for a reason, okay? So that's why it's so helpful to step back and observe, because if you understand the situation on a higher level, then you're understanding yourself better, because self is all there is, right? It's not like sometimes you're creating and sometimes you're this very powerful being, but other times other people have this power and control and you're a victim, okay? You can't go back and forth. That's the chief delusion, as Neville Goddard called it, belief in second causes. So if you say, they're the cause of my pain and suffering, and you point the finger at someone or something, then you are missing the point. You are giving your power away to that person, because you are the only God, the only creator of your experience. Now, remember, faith and imagination is not delusion, it is divine. Okay, so a lot of times we say, be delusional to get what you want. The truth is, that is not delusion. That is truth. That is divine being. It is identification with the 3D world of shadows that is the true delusion. So that means that when all these people, whether it's me or any other teacher on TikTok or Instagram, YouTube, when we talk about being delusional, what we really mean is be radically faithful to the truth that is within you. Okay? And so that means that this world that everyone else is believing in, when they talk about the economy, when they talk about politics, when they talk about all the things of this world, the facts of the world, quote unquote, that is delusion. That is delusion, because you're remaining in this graveyard, this world of shadows. It's nothing. It does not exist. Imagination is the reality, capital R. So everything else other than imagination is delusion. So what are you imagining, right? Are you imagining that things are as they always have been, and therefore you're reacting to life, feeling negative, feeling like everything is happening to you, coming at you? Okay, life is not coming at you, it's coming from you. Again, Edward Art said that. It's absolutely wonderful. Life is not coming at you, it's coming from you. So you decide. Do you want to stay angry? Do you want to stay reactionary? Do you want to stay feeling weak and powerless? Or do you have the power to take that deep breath, to step back, to be the detached observer and seek to understand instead of seeking to react? And I understand that sometimes it feels so good. It feels so good to get angry. It feels so good to, relish in those negative feelings sometimes. But that's really just a habit. And it's an old habit that we can get rid of, right? You don't have to stay in it all day long or for multiple days or hold a grudge, but live it out. Get it out. Speak it if you need to. Write it down if you need to. Be honest with yourself so you can reach a deeper level of understanding of what you're actually feeling. Because if you just try to ignore it, or you just try to change what you're thinking about every time it comes up, you're literally ignoring your own child, like your thought creation, your energetic child that is coming to you for attention. Okay? Because, as I said, the only things that come into your experience are things that you create. So don't ignore it. Don't try and put it to the side. Don't fear getting into those things or even thinking about or feeling for a moment a negative thing. It's not the end of the world. And sometimes it's necessary for you to move forward. All right? It's like taking out a splinter. Sometimes it's going to hurt. It hurts when it's in there. Maybe it hurts when you pull out the splinter, but that's how you heal. Okay? If you don't, maybe it gets stuck in there or it can heal wrong, and then your pain will continue until it comes back up and you have to deal with it again. So don't let these experiences be a splinter within you. Do what you need to. Maybe it hurts for a moment. You have that initial reaction, but then you choose to respond. Become the observer, seek to understand, and all things will work out for the better. So I'm sure you found this valuable. If you're interested, you can check out my Stan Store to see what I have to offer. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Take care.